to Cherry Show. The theme to Cherry Show. Cherry got too bored and had to make this theme song. I'm almost halfway finished. How do you like it so far? How do you like the theme to Cherry Show? This is the theme to Cherry Show, the opening theme to Cherry Show. This is the music that you hear as you wait for Cherry. We're almost to the part of where I start to whistle. Then we watch the Cherry History Show. This was the theme to Cherry's History Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to it's a little bit of Midnight Cherry TV here with a early late variant edition of Today Back in the Day. If you're new to Today Back in the Day, or if it's been a while, of course this is the daily history show on Midnight Cherry TV. Somewhat daily, almost daily. Nowadays, rarely daily. But today's June 2nd. Let's take a quick look at June 1st, real quick, before I get to the chat. Of course, June 1st, 152nd day of the year. We always start off that way, but some interesting things happened June 1st. Anne Boleyn, crowned Queen of England. Kentucky bluegrass, 1792, becoming a state in the United States. So officially a state. Tennessee becomes a state. So shout out to all my Tennesseans out there, whether they're in Nashville or Memphis or anywhere in between. 1796 becomes the 16th state. So Kentucky, Tennessee becoming states on June 1st. Kind of some decent things happening June 1st. Of course, you got Adolf Eichmann hanged in Israel, Nazi war criminal, 1962. You've got the CNN. CNN begins broadcasting 1980. You've got Terry Nichols sentenced to 161 life terms for the Oklahoma City bombing, which is the most consecutive life sentences. Guinness World Record, 2004. So Guinness World Record for life sentences in prison. General Motors files for bankruptcy, 2009. So June 1st, always some interesting things going on. Of course, as well as I believe Marilyn Monroe's birthday. A lot of things happen June 1st, but that's the thing. This is the evening bonus content edition. So we're trying to fire through some of these quicker birthdays. Andy Griffith, 1926, Sheriff of Mayberry. So if you ever find yourself in Mayberry, be careful. Follow those speed limits. And Marilyn Monroe, 1926. So two good ones. Pat Boone, 1934. Morgan Freeman, 1937. Cleavon Little, 1939. Happy birthday, June 1st, belated. A belated birthday here on Midnight Cherry TV. It is June 2nd. So we are kind of just rolling through this real quick. I'll give you a little bit of bonus content before we get to that June 2nd, Today Back in the Day, on this day content here on Midnight Cherry TV. But as I scroll here, let me welcome everybody in the chat room. Of course, JB4 Model 3 stopping in, welcome. You got Raggedy Man, Santa Raven, the champion. We've got yet again Santa Raven adding some more to his name. We got 11, 12 people in here. Welcome. We got Nella Possessed stopping in. We got Eagle 43. Hopefully, Eagle 43 got his prize winnings from the game splaining finale here on Midnight Cherry TV. But we got people talking bobbleheads, people talking people ready for Today Back in the Day. We got Nella Possessed saying Midnight Cherry's drunk, which is incorrect. We got Zach Hawkins at work putting that barbecue grind. We got Flit in the chat asking about those heretics. Of course, Midnight Cherry TV Today Back in the Day is of course accepting of all kinds of people today, whether you're a heretic or a raven, or whether you're a clone, a robot, an alien, whatever you may be. We got PMP that's stopping in the chat. Freddie Primo. We got a strong Cherry Coalition representation here. We got 13 people. But let's take a quick look. Let's see if there's any deaths for June 1st real quick before we get to that June 2nd content. John Story, 1571. Catholic martyr from back in the day. Just a little bonus martyr action there for your Today Back in the Day fans. Pope Gregory the 16th, R.I.P. June 1st. So a belated R.I.P. to Pope Gregory the 16th. Napoleon, one of the various Napoleons, 1879. I believe he was the only child of Emperor Napoleon the third. So a lot of Napoleons, if you look through history, so you got to be careful which one you look at. There is only kind of one real Napoleon, but many go by the name. But we got the Nepalese Royal Massacre, 2001. R.I.P. all those people in Nepal. But I think that's it for deaths. I think, of course, I'm probably missing something. Maybe somebody in the chat can catch me up there. But again, taking a look at that June 1st bonus content. Twilight Cherries TV says Santa Raven TV. Vampire variant edition, of course. Lizzie Board, 1927. Thank you for your primo. Always keep me honest in the chat room. I always appreciate those Midnight Cherry TV chatters and listeners that kind of follow along. We're all in this together. We're all learning a little bit about history in kind of a chilled out, relaxed setting here on Midnight Cherry TV. But International Children's Day was June 1st. Armenia and Mongolia. We had some Christian feast days. Crescentius, patron saint of Urbino, a warrior saint. So you usually get your martyr saint, your missionary saints, but you get a warrior saint depicted on horseback killing a dragon. So quality saint action. Fortunatus of Spoleta in Umbria. So we got some old school classic saints. Herculanus of Piagro. Ronan of Lochrinan, Irish pilgrim, and hermit. So we got our first hermit appearance early today here on Today Back in the Day. But of course, June 1st is the a lot of holidays. It is the first day, of course, of June, so it can be Canadian Forces Day, Father's Day in Lithuania, June holiday in Ireland, Labor Day in Bahamas, Teacher's Day in Hungary, the Queen's birthday in New Zealand. So shout out to all my Kiwis, of course. First Monday in June, so coming up there for you live listeners. Seaman's Day. It's Seaman's Day in Iceland. So all those Icelandic seamen probably keeping warm today on Seaman's Day, the first Sunday in June. Western Australia Day. So shout out to all my Western Australians. The first Sunday in June. The first Sunday in June. So happy Western Australia Day. A belated, or actually future holiday. Fei Day in Vancouver. Global Day of Parents. Got Independence Day of Samoa from New Zealand. So all my Samoan Islanders breaking off from New Zealand back in the day, 1962. Madaraka Day in Kenya. Maritime Day in Mexico. National Tree Planting Day in Cambodia. Penkasila Day in Indonesia. President's Day in Palau. We've got Barbados has a holiday, Victory Day in Tunisia, and June 1st. So a very belated, happy World Milk Day. So whether you're getting that cow's milk, that almond milk for you hipsters out there, for you fancy people out there, maybe some goat milk. Maybe you got that goat milk. Maybe you're living that goat life. Depending on what kind of milk you're looking at for. Yesterday, June 1st, was World Milk Day, so I want to celebrate that for at least a moment here. But let's see what's going on in the chat before I continue with June 2nd. As I read the chat, if I get enough ones in the chat, I will replay the opening theme song to Today Back in the Day here and kind of restart for June 2nd. So let me see what's going on in the chat real quick. Got people asking, of course, Santa Raven, always mixing it up in the chat. People talking all kinds of stuff. We got Risey and JP, always a good bunch here. Semi-regularly, says J4, that is very true. There's only one state that matters. Eichmann dies and CNN is bored. Reincarnation confirms, says Flit. Santa Raven wondering if Bean is in the chat. Of course, Bean is in the chat for all you Bean fanatics. Of course, at this point, Midnight Cherry TV is just a place you can come in and harass Bean in a friendly way, of course. But it seems like Today Back in the Day has become that. We got Teresa Martin stopping in the chat. Zach Hawkins, noticing he's blue, much appreciated, of course. Barbecue Master should deserve a wrench. We got Ratty Man saying, haha, Siemens. People love that Icelandic Seaman's Day. Weird Hero stopping in, waving hello. Oh, it was good. We've got Milk Day. People putting in a little glass of milk for Milk Day. A couple ones. We got Amoeba stopping in the chat as well. Everybody pressing the one. They want that. They want that theme. They want that theme song replayed. So we might as well give them what they want here on Midnight Cherry TV. So let's begin again. I will let you guys chat for a couple seconds here as we listen to the opening theme song and begin again June 2nd coming up here on Midnight Cherry TV.
This is the theme to Cherry Show. The theme to Cherry Show. Cherry got too bored and had to make this theme song. I'm almost halfway finished. How do you like it so far? How do you like the theme to Cherry Show? This is the theme to Cherry Show, the opening theme to Cherry Show. This is the music that you hear as you wait for Cherry. We're almost to the part of where I start to whistle. Then we watch the Cherry History Show. This was the theme to Cherry's History Show.
So there you go. Get a little bit of bonus content there for Today Back in the Day fans. You guys missed June 1st, so we give you a little bit of bonus June 2nd content. But let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's reading in the chat. People saying beanaholics, beaniacs. People saying milk. Weird Hero getting the theme song in. It is Weird Hero's birthday here on now that it is June 2nd here on Today Back in the Day. It is Weird Hero's birthday, so happy birthday, of course, to Weird Hero in the chat. MCTV, where you get what you pay for and don't have to wait a year for it, says Zach Hawkins. Very true. That is correct. But no, but us hating the theme song, some people loving the theme song. We got some new emoji in the chat. Remember saying happy birthday. We got some cherry and fires. Meat mongering for Zach Hawkins. Thank you very much for stopping in. Go make sure the fire's not too hot, and those juices are staying in the meats. But let's see what else. Let's take a look. June 2nd, guys. Welcome. We got 14 people in here. You've already enjoyed a little bit of a June 1st bonus content, but it is official. This is the official beginning of June 2nd. Today, back in the day, here on Midnight Cherry TV. Of course, the more you know about history, the more you know about the past. The less of a fool you look like in the future is kind of what we say here on Midnight Cherry TV. So let's see what we're missing out on for June 2nd from back in the day. So, of course, 153rd day of the year, 212 days remain until the end of the year. So we always start off that way. But let's see what else we got. 455. 455, the sack of Rome. The sack of Rome. So Vandals enter Rome. Of course, the Vandals, they get that bad name, but in reality, they were just a bunch of Polish German tribes known as the Vandals. But the Vandals enter Rome, plundering the city for 2 weeks straight. Just an uncontrollable plundering of Rome, the sack of Rome by the Vandals. So not the Vandals, the punk rock band, but the Vandals, the Germanic Polish tribe from back in the day. So 455 got the First Crusade, the first siege of Antioch. So Crusader forces take the city of Antioch. A second siege begins 5 days later, but the First Crusade, always a little bit of Crusade history during the summer. It seems like here on Today Back in the Day, but that was 1098 back in the day. We've got Model 3 popping in, people saying good night to Zach. Of course, Zach's got a long day ahead of him making that barbecue, making that meat. But Saint Raven enjoying my singing as well as Yoko Ono. Of course, I am the Yoko Ono of Midnight Cherry TV, kind of creating that break, that split, just like Yoko Ono did with the Beatles back in the day. But let's see what else we got here. We got the Franco-Dutch War, 1676. France kind of putting its naval supremacy. So that's one thing you don't hear about. People don't think of France as a naval power. as a power of the seas. But 1676, the Franco-Dutch War, France reigned supreme on the waters. Who knew? Who knew that happened at one point? We got Bridget Bishop, the first person to be tried for witchcraft in Salem, Massachusetts. So shout out to all my witches and vampires and all creatures of the night. So shout out to Bridget Bishop, the first tried for witchcraft, Salem, Massachusetts. A dark moment. Of course, there was not a bunch of witches back then. But that is what a witch hunt is. You know, you look for those witches and you hunt them down, no matter if they're witch or not. But 1692 happening back in the day here on June 2nd. 1774, the Intolerable Acts. The Quartering Act is enacted in America. So a governor in America has to house British soldiers, and you got to make room for them. Figured out. Of course, that was all up to the lead up of America's independence from back in the day. We've got 1835, P.T. Barnum. P.T. Barnum and his circus, the first tour of the United States. So, of course, I think it was about a week ago or 2 weeks ago we talked about the end of the circus. This is the beginning of the circus. So, P.T. Barnum and Bailey, of course, the Barnum and Bailey Circus, 1871 to 2017. Almost 150 years of the circus, kind of giving us a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of enjoyment, in a kind of old school classic way. But 1835, P.T. Barnum, first tour of the United States. 1848, the Slavic Congress in Prague. So always gotta be careful of the Slavic Congress. That seems like might be a dangerous place, but especially back in the day, 1848. But let's see what else we got. Grover Cleveland marrying a woman 27 years. 27 years his junior. So not quite a May-November romance, more of a December and 27 years ago December kind of romance. 1886, Grover Cleveland marrying Frances Folsom. So the power of presidency, the power of politics, the power of strong, rich businessmen like Grover Cleveland himself here, marrying 27 years younger. That is a big time. That is almost an entire adult life difference in age. But 1896, you got Marconi, the patent for the telegraph. So the telegraph getting patented back in the day, June 1st. Always good there. But yeah, let's see what's going on in the chat. People saying June anniversary of two things that never happened. People saying Rome. People saying Crusades equal jihadi, says Noah, because that's kind of controversial. We have Evan Van Scriver popping in here. We have people talking vandals, people talking witches, people talking. We got Amoeba stopping in. People putting all kinds of animals, clowns. Model 316, of course, making those Polish jokes. Of course, equals loss of a wrench, says Weird Hero. That is correct. So, of course, be careful about those Polish jokes. But let's see what else we got here for events for June 2nd. Back in the day, of course, it is June 2nd here where I am at the station here at Midnight Cherry TV. But it might be June 1st for you. It might be June 2nd. You might be listening to June. You might be listening to this on June 3rd. Who knows? But from this, you can gain a little bit of history. Of course, the PLO, one of the most dangerous organizations out there. The PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, whose entire purpose is the liberation of Palestine. Back in the day, of course, it has changed a lot. It has mutated as an organization. But the PLO formed in 1964. So people think Palestine is a 70s, 80s to modern day thing. But 1964, June 2nd, back in the day, so the PLO getting formed. Kind of interesting little moment in time there. Pope John Paul II, of course, Model 3 making those jokes about Poland in the chat. But 1979, JP II, the first official visit to Poland, his native country, his native land. But in doing so, becomes the first pope to visit a communist country. And of course, 10 years later, Poland was free. 10 years later. So Pope John Paul, the power of of the papacy, JP II, coming into Poland 10 years later. Communism is dead in that country. So of course, shout out to those JP fans out there in the chat room. We've got the Lower Ohio Valley tornado outbreak, 66 tornadoes in 1990, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio. Timothy McVeigh, 1997, convicted of the Oklahoma City bombing, executed 4 years later. We've got Europe. The Europe Space Agency launches a probe to Mars, 2003. Interesting little moment there. We got 2012. Hosni Mubarak sentenced to life imprisonment for the killing of demonstrators in the 2011 Egyptian Revolution. Of course, that is a mixed bag of intrigue, political intrigue, geopolitics, and insanity. And insanity, of course, the 2011 Egyptian Revolution, what I'm talking about there. But let's see what's going on in the chat before we take a look at the birthdays. June 2nd here, taking a look at today, back in the day, taking a look at that June 2nd holiday. We get people talking Grover Cleveland, the Cleveland Steamer. People making French jokes. ELO over PLO. That is very true. That is probably Electric Light Orchestra, of course. And they're kind of connected, of course. If you're not aware, Bashar al-Assad, the leader of Syria, and friend of the PLO, his favorite band is ELO. So of all things that you could imagine, a dictator such as Assad is a fan of ELO. Who knew? The 70s classic rock music can be loved by anybody, whether they're a dictator, whether they're a free person. You have people talking Arab Spring. We have Alejandro Mirabel stopping in, of course. Of course, one of those Bean fans out there stopping in the chat. We got JP4 popping in. We got Nell Lazest putting in some controversial hot takes. Of course, those are the kind of things that cause Nell Lazest to lose the wrench. So we got everybody stopping in. We got now there's a connection I would have never made. Yeah, Weird Hero. You never know. Who knew that Bashar al-Assad was a big ELO fan? But that is correct. You can look that up. You can take that to the bank and cash it. It's, of course, speaking of the banks and the Fed here on Midnight Cherry TV, June 2nd. But let's take a look at these birthdays. We have Pope Leo the 11th. Pope Leo the 11th. You got some Pope birthdays here. 1535. A Pope for 26 days. One of the shortest popes. One of the shortest papal reigns. Briefest and shortest pontificates. Pope Leo the 11th, 1535. Back in the day, born back in the day. Marquis de Sade, speaking of sexual degenerates, 1740. So shout out to Santa Raven in the chat room. Marquis de Sade, French philosopher. A little bit of stretch of the imagination to call him a philosopher or a politician, really, at that matter. But more of a rich nobleman. Kind of spent most of his life kind of devoting his life to debauchery and degeneracy of the sexual nature. Marquis de Sade, 1740, back in the day. So there you go. Back in a little bit of history there for you here on June 2nd. But let's get right back to the Pope. The papal birthday is Pope Pius X. 11 years as Pope, 1835. Born today, back in the day, June 2nd. So two Pope birthdays. Marquis de Sade having a birthday. Kind of the two ends of the spectrum there. Johnny Weissmuller, 1904. Tarzan. So the original Tarzan. Johnny Weissmuller, 1904, back in the day, born June 2nd. So shout out to him, of course. A star of classic Hollywood. But let's see what else we got. Tex Schramm. Tex Schramm, of course, kind of the owner, originator of the Dallas Cowboys. The original president of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. For you NFL fans, of course, some people would disagree with across America whether that's true or not. But 1920, born back in the day, happy birthday to him. Of course, a legacy left within sports and professional football, of course. But let's see what else we got. Got some singers mixed in. We have Stinky Pete. Sneaky Pete Robinson, the drag racer. So of course, if you ever need a nickname, we got 16, 17 people in there. If you ever need a new nickname, go with Sneaky Pete. I think the nickname Sneaky Pete is the way to go. If you're looking for that hot, fresh nickname, I think 1933, Sneaky Pete, born 1930 back in the day. So let's see what else we got here for birthdays. Always looking for those good birthdays. Of course, a birthday is your own personal holiday. So if you can appreciate somebody like Stacy Keach, a veteran character actor, we all love a little bit of Stacy Keach from all those Mike Hammer films, Mike Hammer TV show productions, of course, all those 70s, 80s roles, absolute classic, as well as Charlie Watts, drummer of Rolling Stones. So Charlie Watts, Rolling Stones drummer, Stacy Keach, both born today, June 1st, back in the day. We got Jerry Mathers, 1948, Leave It to Beaver. Leave It to Beaver, guys. Beaver Cleaver, born 1948, back in the day, June 1st. Can I get a beaver emoji? Can I get a beaver emoji in the chat room for Leave It to Beaver? Jerry Mathers, 1948, having a happy birthday today. But we got Joshua Hughes stopping in, of course, happy about the midnight stream here on Midnight Cherry TV. Of course, it is midnight somewhere in the world every hour, usually. But we got Nella Possessed making all kinds of jokes. We got people saying, "Hail, brother Joshua." We have Weird Her saying "Pop Culture Encyclopedia." Of course, I appreciate that one. We've got Pope Raven stopping in, so we got both Ravens. We got taxation is only theft if you don't like your money being taken by threat. We got Amoeba concerned about hermit holidays, of course, which is always an Amoeba concern. We've got Zach Hawkins talking about the Church of Starfire, which is a little bit controversial. Of course, the Starfire Raven is a normal chat room conversation here on YouTube for you DC Comics fans out there. But let's see what else we got going for birthdays here on June 2nd. Here on this special live edition of Today Back in the Day with a little bit of bonus content, a little bit of a variant, a June 2nd, June 1st variant. Cornel West, born 1953. 1954, Dennis Haysbert, Joe Boo, Pedro Carrero from Major League. Of course, 24, the president from 24 as well as Dana Carvey. So happy birthday to Dana Carvey. You brought myself, and I'm sure a lot of people in this world a lot of enjoyment, a lot of entertainment. Dana Carvey, Garth, of course, from Wayne's World, but the Church Lady, 1,000 other roles. Master of Disguise, of course, his most recent memorable film for most people, I think. But Test Monkey stopping in at WTF. We got Eagle 43 putting in a unicorn. People putting it in beavers. Put in beavers for Jerry Mather. Leave It to Beaver, born today back in the day. But 1958, Lex Luger, wrestling legend. Of course, a bit of underused potential. I think he could have been a WWF champion in the 90s. Probably deserved to be a bigger top star, but a little bit of a one note wrestler. He had that abdominal stretch, the torture rack, kind of a forearm smash, kind of a limited selection of wrestling moves. But Lex Luger, 1958, happy birthday to him. Of course, a classic. I do enjoy him myself. But let's see what else we got. We got always looking for some good athletes, some good politicians. Somebody we can remember. Wayne Brady. I'm Wayne Brady, bitch. 1972. Of course, the star of the current, most recent Whose Line Is It Anyway? Not the British classic, not the classic British edition, but the American version. Wayne Brady, born 1972. So happy birthday to him. Earl Boykins, 1976, classic NBA player, one of the shortest NBA basketball players of all time. 5'5". Earl Boykins, NBA player. We've got let's see what else we got. Nikki Cox, a former crush of myself right here. If anybody watched anybody Unhappily Ever After or Las Vegas, I'm sure they were a fan of Nikki Cox, a former wife of Bobcat Goldthwait, of all people. So who knew? That's a lot of birthdays. You got AJ Styles, wrestling champion, probably one of the top wrestlers alive currently, as you're listening to this in 2019. Zachary Quinto, of course, Heroes, Star Trek, and Dominic Cooper from Preacher, currently playing Jesse Custer in the Preacher TV show. So Zachary Quinto, AJ Styles, Dominic Cooper, Nikki Cox though, 1978, quite the looker back in the day. Back in the day, of course, like most Hollywood actors, done a lot of plastic surgery as age has as they've grown older. But let's see, we also got Fabrizio Moretti, the Strokes, drummer for the Strokes, 1980, born today, back in the day. Abby Wambach, soccer player, in America, 1980. But let's see what else we got going on in the chat room. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Of course, Freddie Primo always keeping me honest. But people talking beavers, people talking German vehicles. Am I not turtle enough for the Turtle Club? Turtle. Of course, shout out to Master Disguise. But we got people looking into Theogate, Alejandro Mirabel, asking the chat. We got Zach Hawkins popping back in, popping back out. We got Lex Luger stopping in. Everybody talking about Lex Luger's birthday. We got make like a sauce and dip out, says Amoeba. That's a good one. We got people talking Boykins, Nikki Cox, says Noah Possessed. Cox looks healthy. But yeah, Nikki Cox, Bobcat Goldthwait hit way out of his league, says Amoeba. He was back in the day. AJ Styles says Rise Lee, of course. Nasser of Disguise says Amoeba. Marina Baccarat, 1979. Thank you. Thank you to Freddie Primo. Always catching those ones that I miss. Of course, a variety of roles, but Sarah and Firefly, and Adrian Stargate SG1. So all you nerds out there, we're fans of Marina Baccarat, a Brazilian actress. That's her birthday today, 1979. You can always shout out to her here on June 2nd. Of course, having a birthday back in the day. But let's see what else we got going on. Let's see if we can finish strong. We got 17, 18 people in here. Sharing a little bit of daily history, of course. If you're new to Today Back in the Day here on Midnight Cherry TV, it is a daily, somewhat daily, almost daily history show where we take a look at the Wikipedia page. We kind of do it in a chilled environment. People come in here, chat a little bit, have a little fun, kind of listen to the smooth sounds of history. We take a look at those birthdays. We take a look at those events. We take a look at those deaths even. And of course, deaths can be sad. They can be looked at as a sad moment, but also something to remember. You know, we can see people's legacy. We can remember kind of the impact that people left. Maybe get inspired by it. You know, whether you're an artist or whether you're a tradesman or whether you're making that tasty barbecue like Zach Hawkins listening out there in YouTube world. It is always good to know what's going on out there. So, you know, back in the day, June 2nd, 657. It was a sad day because Pope Eugene I died. Pope Eugenius, Pope Eugene I, a three-year pope. So not quite the shortest, but not quite that long either. So shout out to all my Pope fans out there having some Pope deaths here on June 2nd. Always you know, that's the thing. If you take a look at history, there's a Pope birth or a Pope death almost every day of the year. We get a little bit of Catholic history here. R.I.P. Lou Gehrig. So can I get a baseball? Can I get a baseball or a baseball bat emoji? People saying aliens. Yeah, people saying almost daily. We got some aliens, some skulls in the chat, shouting out all those R.I.P.s, all those deaths. But Lou Gehrig. So put a baseball in the chat. Put a baseball bat for one of the greatest baseball players, the Iron Horse. The Iron Horse. Of course, a Yankee, but we won't hold that against him here on Midnight Cherry TV. 1941, Lou Gehrig, born back in the day, or not died back in the day. Sorry about that. But 1941, an R.I.P. Kind of missed out on a lot of that World War II action. So Lou Gehrig kind of lived a decent life, lived an interesting life. Of course, people know him as Lou Gehrig's disease. Of course, it's always impressive when you can be a successful kind of athlete, successful in your field, and then you get a disease, and that disease is known by you, known by your name. Always kind of interesting legacy that you can leave there. Maybe not the best legacy to leave, but a legacy nonetheless. We got McLaren, Bruce McLaren, the founder of McLaren Racing Team, 1970, R.I.P. I wonder if he died in a crash. Who knows? But race car designer, driver, engineer, inventor. The McLaren racing dynasty over there. But let's see what else we got for deaths. Let's see if there's anything kind of sad. Maybe not so sad, but something to be inspired about, as I always say. Ray Combs, the former host of Family Feud. So he did die, I believe a sad death, dying at 40 years old. But he did make some appearances on wrestling, some SummerSlams, I believe, some Survivor Series, maybe even WrestleMania here back in the day. But Ray Combs, former host of Family Feud. If you ever want to see the history, the intrigue of TV show hosts, look up Family Feud. We think of modern day Steve Harvey. Maybe you think of who knows who you think of for Family Feud. But every single host has had a fascinating life, a fascinating history, a fascinating sort of existence, kind of intertwined with Family Feud. So do yourself a favor, look up the history of Family Feud hosts. That is always kind of interesting. But a special shout out to a Weird Hero in the chat room. I believe if he's still there, who knows? It does look. I got a lot of baseballs in the chat. People bringing the drama and the gossip. Says Alejandro. We got Amoeba, Teresa Martin. Everybody putting in baseball. People saying I don't like baseball. So saying a Raven. But of course, who cares? Who cares if you don't like baseball? We got Soccer Blue, Deli Poco of Zorro. Sorry. R.I.P. Rex Harrison. Yeah, R.I.P. Rex Harrison. Rex was gay Hollywood Secrets. The host of the Gong Show was kind of odd too, if I recall correctly. This is Weird Hero. But we got 17, 18 people. R.I.P. Can I get a gravestone? Can I get a casket for two big R.I.Ps I want to take a look at today? Two deaths, and maybe we can kind of take with us and kind of be inspired by the kind of what they gave us. Number one, 2003, Classy Freddie Blassie. So the Hollywood fashion plate, former NWA junior heavyweight champion, but most people know him as the manager, the wacky Freddie, Classy Freddie Blassie, the WWF manager from back in the day, 2003, R.I.P. As well as Bo Diddley, one of the all-time best guitar players, best kind of blues, rock and roll kind of combo singer-songwriters, Bo Diddley. So whether you're a fan of music, whether you're a fan of wrestling, entertainment, Bo Diddley and a Classy Freddie Blassie. So R.I.P. two legends. Yeah, shout out to a Weird Hero with Classy Freddie Blassie. I know he's a fan himself, but people can't find a grave. Some people putting in guitars in there for Bo Diddley. So always good to see that one. But Mel Ferrer, the father of Miguel Ferrer, of course, a classic of Hollywood, 2008 R.I.P. Another Family Feud host, R.I.P. Richard Dawson, of course, Captain Corporal Newkirk on Hogan's Heroes. Another interesting character, but of course the Match Game host we all talked about, but the host of Family Feud, another Family Feud death. So if Steve Harvey or Louis Anderson dies on June 2nd, we know there's a conspiracy afoot of the deaths of Family Feud hosts. But 2012, R.I.P. yet again, another Family Feud host. Maybe they were a little bit connected. Who knows? But about to get to these holidays observers. Let's see if we can't finish this strong. We got 17, 18 people in here. We're here saying you're all a bunch of pencil neck geeks. Exactly, that is a classic of the Classy Freddie Blassie. But people putting in fire, people putting in some caskets. We've got people putting in a little bit of celebratory emojis. One Family Feud host dying as a coincidence, two dying as a conspiracy. Imagine 3 or 4 dying all on June 2nd. Who knows? Who knows the legacy that Family Feud leaves us? An interesting one to say, nonetheless. But Yeah, let's get to Richard Karn's house stats. Says Raggedy Man, ain't that the truth? But let's see if we can't finish strong here. June 2nd, today, back in the day, this kind of extended variant edition. We gave you a little bit of June 1st content real early, and now we're giving you a little bit of this June 2nd content to kind of continue about your day, whether you're young or old, wherever you come from in the world. You can kind of look at each day fresh, look at it new, and kind of see what happened before, and from that, kind of take it forward. Take your own self, take your own life, take humanity forward in any way you want to. But let's take a look at these holidays for June 2nd. North Korea having a Children's Day. So all those children in North Korea being put to work in those horrible factories. But I don't know what that means actually. Children's Day in North Korea. What does it mean? Who knows? Who knows? It probably means something bad. I would, if you're a child, to all my children listener in North Korea, if you're listening to this on an illegal cell phone or on an illegal iPad, you're a North Korean child. You've finished your long day of work in the factories of North Korea. You've gotten home, and maybe you're putting on YouTube, and you come across a little bit of Today Back in the Day. I want you to stay in the house. I want you to relax. I want you to take it easy. I want you to take it easy today. So to all those North Korean children, America wants to redeem you. The rest of the world wants to open our arms to you. Be careful out there. Be careful out there for Children's Day up there in the communist North Korea. Always got to be careful. Always got to be careful up there in the Korea. But let's see. We got Christian feast days. Let's see what else we got there going on. We got how many holidays do these freaks need? People talking Azerbaijan. People looking ahead on the Azerbaijan holidays. But that's no fun. You come in here on Today Back in the Day. You want to get that history. Don't look ahead. Be careful what you ask for. But Christian feast days. We got Alexander the Martyr, companion of Saint Parthenius, a physician. So a physician martyr saint. Interesting. We got Elmo, Saint Elmo. Not Elmo, the Sesame Street character, the red puppet, but the person, Erasmus of Formia, Saint Elmo, the patron saint of sailors and abdominal pain. So if you got a stomach ache, if you got a tummy ache at home today, let's say you're out and about, you got a little bit of a tummy ache, you're not feeling too well. Maybe say a little prayer to Saint Elmo. Maybe pay a little attention to the power of Saint Elmo, the patron saint of sailors and abdominal pain. So shout out to all my sailors out there as well. I think we've got of course Alejandro Mirabel, the creator of Long Harbor, probably a big fan of sailors. But Saint Elmo, the patron saint of sailors, having a holiday today, June 2nd. So for all those people taken to the seas, whether in their real life or whether they're digitally, like JB4 on his World of Warships YouTube programming. Today, June 2nd, the holiday of St. Elmo, the patron saint of sailors and abdominal pain. So of course, be careful. Don't drink that water. Don't drink that seawater. You might also get abdominal pain if you're a sailor. So you'd have two prayers to say, both to St. Elmo here on June 2nd. But let's see what else we got. We got Felix of Nicosia, a Capuchin friar, not a Capuchin monkey, but a Capuchin friar. Interesting there. We got Marcellinus and Peter, two 4th century martyrs. So we got another martyr saint today. The martyrs of Lyon, Pope Eugene I. We talked about him earlier today, having a holiday, and Parthenius, the first bishop of Lyon. Let's see, we got Pope Eugene. Let's see if he's got anything more interesting. Yeah, 3 years. 3 years of Pope. Pretty short Pope history there. But let's see what else we got going on in the chat. We got people talking North Korea. People talking. Deadly Poke Zero stopping in. Thank you for popping in. Everybody, King Wang Chung tonight. Nice one. People talking St. Elmo's fire. People talking looking up spoilers. People looking abdominal pain. We got people taking Hail Elmo. We got being a martyr is the hardest job in the world, says Oprah. Says Santa Raven. So of course, be careful looking at those quotes that Santa Raven says. None of them are accurate. but they're all fun. That's kind of the idea here behind Today Back in the Day. We can come in here, we can look at these holidays. We can look at the coronation of King Yigme Singye Wangchuk, also known as Social Forestry Day. So social forestry in Bhutan. So the Kingdom of Bhutan having a holiday today, which is always appreciated. Day of Hristo Botev in Bulgaria. Decoration Day in Canada. Decoration Day. So shout out to all my Canadians out there, all my Canadians. I want you to have a happy Decoration Day. Up there in Canada. So always appreciate those Canadian holidays here on Today Back in the Day. Especially Wednesday here on June 2nd. We got Fiesta della Repubblica in Italy, Italian National Day and Republic Day every day. So June 2nd, the pasta sauce, the pasta gravy is flowing freely today, June 2nd over there in Italy. Of course, we got two big holidays, two huge holidays. We got 18 people. I want to see the chat room explode. Amoeba saying, fuck Bhutan, it already has 4 Dragon Balls. People saying, Joshua, you saying Civil Aviation Day. But of course, that is the holiday. That is one of the holidays we want to talk about. We got 2 huge holidays. Of course, any long-term listener, if you're not a long-term listener of Today Back in the Day, then maybe you're unaware. But for those that join us here on Midnight Cherry TV and take a look at history on a regular or semi-regular basis, one thing we all know, one thing we all see, we're all kind of excited about is Azerbaijan. The country of Azerbaijan has a holiday seemingly every week, almost every week, almost every 2 weeks. The small country of Azerbaijan has a holiday. Sometimes they seem legitimate. Sometimes they seem fake. Sometimes you don't know if they're real or not. But Civil Aviation Day. So can I get a plane or a Azerbaijan flag if they exist in the emoji stock selection there on YouTube? But Azerbaijan, all those Azerbaijani customs coming into play today for Civil Aviation Day. So I don't know exactly what that means, other than it's for people personal flight. So for those 2 people in all of Azerbaijan that own their own plane, maybe today's their day. But Civil Aviation Day in Azerbaijan, always gotta be careful. People saying time to move countries, says Alana Mirabel. Got people still upset about Bhutan. People putting in planes for Civil Aviation Day. But of course, if you're using those planes in Azerbaijan, maybe you're getting on a plane. Maybe you find yourself in Azerbaijan on June 2nd, sometime in the future. Maybe it's today. Maybe you're listening today, back in the day, in the future. Maybe it's the year 3535, and you're about to hit that like button. You're about to leave a comment on this video, and you notice that Civil Aviation Day. Maybe take the plane out. Take the plane out to maybe overseas, maybe to the red light district over there in Denmark, maybe Amsterdam. Who knows where you're going over there in Europe. Because it's International Sex Workers Day. So International Sex Workers Day. So it's all the hookers, the prostitutes, the working girls, the ladies of the night, and even those gigolos, even those massage parlor girls, giving those tug jobs all day long to those degenerates, all over the country, over here in America, maybe overseas as well, over there in Asia. But a shout out to all those international sex workers. It is your day. So please be careful. Maybe wear protection. Maybe don't sell your body. Maybe don't sell your body today. Maybe today's the day to kind of put it aside. Maybe save it. Maybe kind of recuperate from the work you're putting on that body. It is also known as International Whores Day. So International Whores Day seems a little bit vulgar. But a whore is a prostitute. So it is a accurate description. But it's International Sex Workers Day here on June 2nd. Back in the day, people putting red lights, people putting red alerts for International Sex Workers Day. People saying, let's get to 20 likes, as JB4. People saying, America sent all of its DC-10s over there. Santa Raven saying, Happy International Sex Workers Day. We got Frosty Prosty. The show goes blue against his weird hero. People saying Happy Hooker Day. Yeah, Happy Hooker Day, Santa Raven. Yeah, can everybody say Happy Hooker Day to Santa Raven in the chat room? Of course, Santa Raven. Santa Raven. I think if we all give him the support he needs, he can finally get that hooker that he is really desiring out there today. But yeah, take that, Azerbaijan. We got a Hooker Day. Maybe give a discount today. Yeah, as well. Who knows? Yeah, your planes don't look so hot today. People saying I've been at some interesting places on this day. Yeah, Happy Hooker Day to Santa Raven in the chat room, of course. Of course, if you're not aware of Santa Raven is a young gigolo over in Australia. So if you're a woman or a man, if you're a woman or a man, and you need a little bit of love, and you find yourself on the Australian continent in the land down under, look up Santa Raven. Look up Santa Raven. Especially June 2nd today on here on International Sex Workers Day. Today's the day to do it if you find yourself over there in the land down under. But a couple last things to take a look at here on June 2nd. A couple things to close out on. Number one, though, the Wire. The Wire premiered. So for all you HBO TV show fans, the crime drama The Wire, of course, starring Dominic West and Idris Elba amongst others. Omar coming here on June 2nd, 2002. So only a few months after 9/11, The Wire comes on TV. Might have been bad timing there for HBO back in the day. But of course, the sewing machine patent today. But one last thing I want to take a look at to leave you with something a little bit lighthearted, a little bit funny, a little bit more of a joke, a little bit something more of an enjoyable thing here. But Pontiac's Rebellion, a little bit of a story here for you, a little bit of story time here to go out on June 2nd here on Midnight Cherry TV. Today, back in the day, but back in the day, 1763, not 19, but 1763. Back in the day, you got years before America's independence. You had Pontiac's Rebellion, a bunch of Chippewas, Chippewa Indians. Captured a fort in Michigan. So shout out to all my Michiganders out there, the Spartans and Wolverines out there, fighting year after year. But the Chippewa Indians played a game of lacrosse outside the fort, and then the ball went into the fort. They chased the ball into the fort. And then capture the fort. So imagine being able to capture a fort by having a lacrosse ball roll into the fort. That's like imagine if you're a child and you hit a baseball, you hit a soccer ball into your neighbor's yard, and then you just you take over your neighbor's house. You take over your neighbor's house. That's how that works. Kind of a crazy thing. Kind of a crazy moment in time. If you want to look up Pontiac's Rebellion, 1763. So Mackinac City, Michigan, Fort Michilimackinac, Michilimackinac. They're diverting the attention of the garrison by a game of lacrosse. So if you ever want to sneak in, just shake something, maybe roll a ball into their area, and then kind of sneak in and take it over. So that was the Chippewas' kind of way of going at it. People saying, model saying he's looking for a woman of his dreams at the parking lot of Wawa. Always a good plan. We got Wawa, short for Warsaw, Polish, and Nella possessed. We got all kinds of stuff coming to the chat. Those damn Chippewas. But yeah, the Chippewa Indians, kind of an interesting little rebellion there, taking over an entire fort by rolling a lacrosse ball into the fort. That might have been the easiest capturing of a fort ever done, maybe back in the day. And of course, Albert Einstein married his cousin back in the day, 1919. So never forget that incest does exist. Albert Einstein marrying his cousin, 1919. So to leave you a little something a little more disturbing there for you here on this June 2nd bonus content edition. But at least what's going on in the chat here before I leave you off here on Midnight Cherry TV today back in the day. But we got Raggedy Man saying Two Family Feud host dead, Hooker Day, Lou Gehrig, Pontiac Rebellion, all connected. It's all connected. Who knows? Who knows if it is all connected? People talking The Wire, people talking to hookers for Santa Raven, which is always appreciated. We got not a distinguished moment in Michigan military history, says Weird Hero. People saying and people comparing the women quality of woman at Sheetz or Wawa or Aldi's. People always interesting there. We got the hookers and Cousin Lovin. What a wholesome day, says Sacra Blue. Fort Detroit went down like a punk, says Weird Hero. Einstein married his cousin to ensure that nobody be anyone as smart as him again. That is very true. Risey saying rock on all. But 16, 17 people in here. I want to thank you all for stopping in June 2nd. All the new people, all the old people, and everybody in between. I want to thank you for checking out a little bit of Today Back in the Day here on Midnight Cherry TV, your daily, somewhat daily, almost daily history show on YouTube. The most popular daily history show on YouTube, of course, with a whopping 17 viewers. But I appreciate you all stopping in. I love that you love history just like me. And so come back tomorrow, June 3rd, for another taste into the day in history. Thanks again, guys.